Hello, I'm Finian Quinn, Net Zero Lead for Blue Wave Technology. We're excited to share our Dublin Carbon Calculator with you. It is a joint project between Salesforce, a global leader in cloud-based technologies, and Blue Wave Technology, a Platinum Salesforce Solutions partner. Our team is made up of Aya Shrivastava, a Blue Wave Tableau scientist, myself, Finian Quinn from Blue Wave, Diana Carter, Solution Engineer for Public Sector for Salesforce, JP King, a Solution Engineer for Tableau, and John Stobie, RVP for Public Sector Ireland for Salesforce. Diana, over to you.
First, a bit of context. Ireland is committed to a 51% reduction in carbon emissions by 2030 relative to 2018 levels. But the Environmental Protection Agency warns that the National Climate Action Plan needs to be implemented faster if that goal is to be met. Analysis from Kadima, Dublin's energy agency, shows that over half of Dublin's energy-related emissions comes from residential and transport, and almost 2/3 of transport emissions are generated by private vehicles. All this means that individual citizens have a critical role to play in helping meet Ireland's climate goals. This is why we've created the Dublin Carbon Calculator, a communications tool designed to help citizens understand the impact they can have and motivate them to take action quickly. It leverages Kadima's open data sets on Dublin's carbon emissions and couples this with postcode and small area code data. Our project team has estimated the impact of carbon reducing measures, such as installing a heat pump, and compares this to the EPA's open data on future emissions as a benchmark. Drawing on insights from the SCAI's behavioural research papers, we use a narrative infographic to tell a story around the data, in particular, to generate personalised takeaway quotes that users can internalise and socialise with family, friends and colleagues. Ultimately, we want everyone to feel that we're in this together and we've all got an important part to play in shaping our path to 2030. It can be pretty overwhelming to hear endless bad news stories about the climate, especially if you think you can't really have any impact. We aim to overcome this by highlighting a clear, simple goal and putting this in a local context, so an individual user can find out how much carbon do we need to save in my local area by 2030. We then allow users to explore the potential impact if each year more and more Dublin households adopt a specific measure like installing insulation. And finally, practical actions, big and small, so that everyone can start by doing something. Aish will now show you the carbon calculator in action.
Thanks, Diana and Finian. Now, let me give you a quick demo for the Dublin Carbon Calculator, a project developed for the 2022 Open Data Climate Action Challenge. Ireland has committed to reducing carbon emission by 51% by 2030. But to achieve this, we need to significantly speed up implementation of the National Climate Action Plan. Over half of Dublin's energy-related emissions, 57%, come from residential and transport emission. This means that individual citizens have a big role to play in helping meet Ireland's sustainability target. Now, let's take a closer look at the map section of our calculator. It helps you as a citizen answer a simple question. How much carbon do we need to reduce in my area to meet the 2030 goal? You can view the data for all of Dublin or filter it by your local authority, your postcode, and even hover over the map to understand your small area code and the tons of carbon emission that happened in 2021. When you hover over the map, it also tells you the amount of carbon emission that you want to reduce by 2030, and also the equivalence of removing the emission from the households and taking off the number of cars off the road. To understand more about the calculation and the map, you can just click on the info bubbles and you will be directed to a link where you can get the calculation understanding. Moving on. Now we got the idea of what we need to achieve. Let's take a look how we can do it. We can see in the right hand side of the map, if we pick an energy saving measure here, heat pump plus insulation, we can reduce the emission by 16%, which is about 34% of the 2030 target. We can also see how this contributes to the EPA's estimated residential emission trend if ambitious climate plan is implemented. Now that you got the sense of the impact you can make, what can you actually do today? Here are some concrete answers, from small steps to bigger projects. You can do a home energy audit with Kadima's Energy Saving Kit. Check out Dublin bike scheme near you. Explore the Go Zero Waste app to find local shop that encourages reusable packaging and more. You can also nurture biodiversity in your own window box or garden. If we all do what we can, as soon as we can, we will be well on the road of meeting our 2030 goals. We would like to thank the 4 Dublin Councils, Smart Dublin, and all the partners for organizing the Open Data Climate Action Challenge. We would also like to thank the team from Northumberland County Council who inspired us with their own carbon calculator published on Tableau Public. You can find the Dublin Carbon Calculator on Tableau Public or via the link sfdc.co/Dublin Carbon Calculator. Together we can chart the path to a greener, more sustainable 2030. Thank you. Over to you, Finian.
So thanks, Ayush. Thanks, Diana. Our aim over the coming months is to engage with more local authorities and public bodies around Dublin and Ireland to understand how they could potentially use the model we have built to share data and drive behavioural change in their areas. For anyone that'd like to discuss that with us, please get in touch. We would be delighted to speak with you.